Hello lovely people, welcome to our weekly reading for the week of the 19th of September. The 19th of September, as we know, today is the date of our dear Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. The ending really of a very sad mourning period and the beginning of a whole new era. So let us look and see what have the cards got in store for us this week. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so here we have the Queen of Swords. Interesting. We have the Six of Pentacles and we have the High Priestess. Very interesting. Okay, so the Queen of Swords represents our, the Queen of Swords is about intellect and logic. She's very much about reasoning and, reason and thoughts and honesty and integrity. So the Queen of Swords, she represents our innate ability to be able to learn and grow from adversity. And usually, because we're looking at the sword suit, that the adversity is very much often in our head. It's to do with our reasoning and our thoughts. And I think we all appreciate that we're really only as happy as the thoughts that we have in our head at any given time. So because we're looking at the suit of swords, and we're looking at adversity, this queen is saying that, we really need to be able to learn and grow from adversity. So she encourages us to make that choice. Plenty of people are not able to or don't feel able to or choose not to learn and grow. They choose to stay bitter. They choose to stay feeling like a victim. And what this queen is doing is encouraging us not to be that person. She's encouraging us to move forward. She's encouraging us to look at what happened and to grow from that. Because as we all know, our thinking is affected by our past experiences. And the key word here really is past experiences. And our past experiences are very important in that they are experiences that we can learn to grow from. So this queen is about bringing order to chaos, through clarity and boundaries. And it's about connecting with, connecting through an intellectual understanding rather than an emotional one. She's very much about fairness and impartiality, and she's highly perceptive. So this queen will also stand up to bullies and societal pressures. She'll question structures and rules that don't make sense. And if you can imagine, she's sitting there with her sword poised and she's just ready to cut through any hypocrisy. So I'm sure you can imagine from all of this, she's not exactly submissive or docile. And she places very strong boundaries around herself. So this queen, what she does is she transforms energy from victimhood to victorious. And I love that. I love that sense of escaping from that realm, if you like, of being a victim to being victorious, about finding that you have power. And this queen, she commands respect because she respects herself. So this card is, it's very much about owning your authentic self. It's very much about owning your own power. And when you become like that, you will be good at making decisions and you will be great at resolving problems. So I love that our reading is starting with this card, because I think it's just like these are really basic things that are so fundamental to our well-being. Now this card is followed by the Six of Pentacles, and Pentacles is the suit of of earth, and earth is about being grounded. So this card is about security, it's about value, it's about your sense of worth, it's about finance, it's about fitness and health, it's about prosperity, and it's about generosity and charity. And this is kind of where you get the spiritual side of the Pentacles, because with the Pentacle suit, it's very much about kind of contemplative labouring, if you like, that you will put your heart and soul into what it is that you do, that you will love what it is that you do. And this card also, it's very much about representing compassion, generosity and hospitality. And I think you have to love what you do to kind of be able to show that compassion and to be able to show that generosity and hospitality. So this card is very much about the concept of good karma. It's about acts of kindness. And these acts of kindness, they don't have to be about giving money as indicated here. Now, the way that this card is indicated, it's like giving acts of kindness to beggars, to poor people, and it's but the point of it really is to affirm their it's to affirm their worth as human beings. It's and it's about validating dignity. So it's also about giving. It's about giving without the expectation of receiving. So it's like a circle, if you like, of giving and receiving, because, and this is kind of where the balance is there, that sense of giving and receiving, because no matter how wealthy a person is, there's always going to be a time in their life when they will appreciate, even if they don't appreciate it, when they will need an act of kindness of some kind. And so this card is also about it's about being able to express our gratitude also, because it can be very hard to acknowledge that we need something. And so this card is kind of saying, to be humble is okay. It's good. It's important that we're able to express these things. It's important that we can give, but it's equally important that we can receive and be grateful. And when you're giving, there is a sense of gratitude in giving, in the sense that it gives meaning to our lives, to be able to share our good fortune, whatever good fortune that is. So there's a lot of kind of stuff going on here with this card about the circle of life, if you like. And it's also the giving and taking in relationships. And those relationships, they can be in a marriage, they can be they can be, employers or employees, could be teachers and students, could be doctors and patients. And, although there is a dichotomy between those types of parties, they are inextricably linked, because without, they all share a common fate. Neither can exist without the other. So this is a really, really interesting card for us to reflect on. Now, this card is followed then by the High Priestess. The High Priestess belongs to the Major Arcana, so this is a card very much to aspire to, if you like. It's kind of like a lifelong thing that we could really aspire to. And the High Priestess refers to the subtle working of the unconscious mind. So this is the unconscious, or the subconscious as some people call it. It's very much about what's inside of us. It's that calm center inside of us. And we do all have it, but for some people it can be so buried that it would take lots of work to reach that point. But to reach that point of finding that inner sense of calm so that we can make really good decisions. Now, this is also kind of called your gut instinct. It's about intuition. And it's intuition that kind of sends us back inside. Intuition, it's our superpower. And so if you look at, say, the High Priestess here, she's sitting between two pillars. One is black, one is white, very much polar opposites. And really what this card is telling us is that life's answers are hardly ever black and white. They're usually somewhere in between. And so it's we live in a world of increasing polarity these days. And I think the High Priestess is a reminder to us that life just isn't black and white. So it's kind of really important that we find that middle ground. And this is where we really need our intuition to guide us there, and our instincts. So if you're in a position and you just don't know what to do, you're feeling really quite helpless and you just don't know what to do, the answer is to find your way inside, to find yourself, to find your way back into that calm center inside of you. Because, feelings of helplessness, they're just superficial exclamations of fear on the surface. It's just showing you that the fear, it's all on the surface. But the answer is behind that kind of veil of fears, if you like. And behind that veil of fears, you do already know what to do. You just don't know that you know what to do. And this is where the tarot is wonderful for drawing that information out. So basically your fears, they're not your instincts, and your instincts know what to do. There is an interesting way of trying to figure out, like, well, what is my fear? What's driving me? Is it my fear that's driving me, or is it my instinct that's driving me? So if it's your fear, you'll find that your body is tight and it's anxious and everything feels really, really scary. Whereas if it's your instinct, you'll feel quite calm, but you'll feel sharp and you'll feel clear and you'll feel really empowered to act. And that is the difference between fear and instincts. So instincts is that inner wisdom that will guide you, but you do need to, you need to block out all of this surface dribble, that drivel that's going on around you. Now, on a much more kind of worldly kind of level, the High Priestess can also indicate that there may be that the sort of secretive nature of the High Priestess. It can indicate that there's gossip and hidden agendas going on around you. So where others are maybe keeping information from you or talking about you behind your back, and and not in a good way. So this card is saying, when this comes up in a reading, it's saying don't make assumptions and don't waste your time being paranoid. Have an open and honest conversation and bring these secrets to the surface. And because that is the only way that you're going to be able to address them. And is that message, is that reminding you of anybody? This is the message of the Queen of Swords, isn't it? And I find that quite remarkable that once again, these cards have come round in a full circle. And I just love that. So I'm going to leave you with a lovely affirmation here with the High Priestess that I love this affirmation about the High Priestess. And it's basically, it's very short. It's like, I can hear the whispered voice of my intuition. And if you can kind of say that to yourselves, you know, learn it like I have. And just when you start to feel, you know, all kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do, just get really still and say, I can hear the whispered voice of my intuition. So lovely people, I'm going to leave you with that. This was your reading for today. And if it resonates with you, please do leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. You can also subscribe to this channel to be notified for the next reading. And if you would like to know more, you can always book a private reading with me. You can find my email address in the description of the video below. So once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to reading for you next week. In between, lots of love.